Folks, in my 20 years in the league, I've never seen anything like this. What's happening right now in Pittsburgh is not just a headline. It's a seismic shift that threatens to rewrite the entire landscape of the NFL's future. We're talking about a move so huge, so game-changing, that it's still bubbling beneath the surface. But I guarantee, what I'm about to reveal could be the single most pivotal moment in Steelers history since the Terry Bradshaw days. The kind of intel that only insiders like me, with connections deep in league circles, have access to. But here's the kicker. You can't just dismiss it as speculation anymore because the signs are pointing to an explosion that will shatter everything. And I know you want the full story. But I'm going to tell you right from the start, this isn't just about a player or a team. It's about a secret strategy so carefully crafted that only a few inside the league even know it exists. Could this be the start of a new dynasty? Or is it a desperate gamble by a franchise trying to punch above its weight? Either way, this story isn't over yet. Stick around, hit that like button, subscribe, and activate the bell because what I'm about to lay out is not for the faint-hearted. Those who get it now will be ahead of the game, the ones who truly see what's coming. Because right now, in the shadows of the NFL playoff chaos, a clandestine operation is underway. Rumors swirl like wildfire. Leaks are strategically placed. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, yes, the Steelers are on the cusp of a move that will make history. There's a player, a cornerstone piece, someone who could redefine the entire franchise's future. And the whispers tell me this. They're eyeing Charles Cross from Seattle. But don't just take that at face value. No, what's happening behind the scenes is so much more layered, so much more complex that you need the full scoop, and I've got it. Let's peel back the curtain. First, we need to look at their current state. The Steelers are at a crossroads. The gut-wrenching departure of Mike Tomlin has left a void so palpable that the entire franchise feels it. Their recent season, a 10-7 finish, was a roller coaster. Decent? Sure, but not enough to cover the cracks brewing at the top. The quarterback situation remains uncertain, and with the playoff loss to Houston, the franchise's window of opportunity is narrowing. They're in a chaotic search for a new head coach. Chris Shula, Mike McCarthy, Brian Flores, Nate Scheelhaas, names flying everywhere. But let me ask you, if you were trying to rebuild rapidly, what's the ultimate move? Someone with youth, durability, versatility, and the ability to instantly change the game. Now, let's analyze what the Steelers need most. Their offensive line, historically solid but in recent years inconsistent, has taken a hit. They lack the elite protection needed for a quarterback like Kenny Pickett to flourish. Their pass blocking was inconsistent, especially late in the season. The run game, barely making an impression, partly because of the interior struggles and outside protection breakdowns. The analytics clearly show that Pittsburgh's offensive line ranked in the bottom third in sacks surrendered and pressures allowed after Week 10. They need an anchor, someone who can change that entire dynamic. Film analysis confirms it. Watching the games, you see a team that struggles when the pocket collapses. Pressure leads to hurried throws, turnovers, and a stalled offense. The interior protection is decent, but the edge is a disaster when pressure comes from the right side or at the crucial moments. They need a player who is not just good but elite, someone who can be a franchise cornerstone for the next decade. And that's where the story gets even more fascinating. The perfect solution, it's right there in the NFL, hidden in plain sight. The answer isn't just a draft pick or a free agent signing. It's a player who's proven he can excel under pressure, who's battle-hardened, durable, and has instinctive technique that makes him a nightmare for pass rushers. That player is none other than Charles Cross. Yes, Charles Cross. Take a deep breath. I know what you're thinking. He's a Seahawk, right? Absolutely. But let me break it down. Charles Cross, at just 25 years old, is already one of the most coveted offensive tackles in the league. Since entering the NFL in 2022, he's been a revelation. His film, unbelievable. His technique, flawless. His stats, outstanding. Watch his footwork lightning quick with balance so refined it looks effortless. His pass protection, elite. He allowed just 15 pressures in 2025 over 620 pass blocking snaps, according to PFF. Good for a top 5 rate among starting tackles. His athleticism makes him a nightmare for edge rushers, combining quickness, strength, and sharp instincts. His ability to mirror and anchor is reminiscent of Trent Williams, but with fewer injury concerns. That's critical because durability in today's NFL is everything. Moreover, the advanced metrics paint a clear picture. Cross ranks top 10 among tackles for wins above replacement WAR, and his run blocking, top tier. His zone blocking grades are exceptional, making him versatile enough to fit any offensive scheme. And as an added bonus, he's a leader on the field. Teammates and coaches rave about his work ethic, football IQ, and resilience. His recent injury scare, a finger surgery that caused him to miss the last 3 games of 2025, did little to diminish his standing. When healthy, he's a different beast. Why does this matter now? Because the Seahawks value him immensely. His extension, a 4-year, $104.4 million contract, was not just a cap move. It was a signal, a statement. They see him as a franchise face for the next decade. But the rumors swirl that Seattle might entertain trade offers, especially if they get an irresistible package. And here's where it gets interesting. Pittsburgh, desperate to stabilize their offensive line and eager to shake up their roster after Tomlin's departure, is rumored to be in advanced talks. So how could the trade look? Let's get into the mechanics. Seattle's asking price? It's steep but justified. Multiple insiders suggest they'd want at least a first-round pick this year, possibly an additional mid-round pick, plus a young player or a proven veteran to sweeten the deal. The Seahawks are eyeing future capital, something to continue building around their core. Meanwhile, the Steelers have assets. They could part with a future first-rounder, maybe a third or a fourth, and a promising young linebacker or corner. The key here is cap space. Pittsburgh must maneuver under the salary cap, which is tight but manageable with some restructures. Cross's cap hit in 2026 is around $8 million, which is palatable considering his elite production. Now, let's look at the winners and losers. Seattle benefits immensely from acquiring draft capital, possibly upgrading their roster further around Geno Smith. They'd also receive a high-value pick in a draft deep with offensive linemen. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, gains a proven elite blocker immediately, elevating their offensive line status overnight. That could be the missing piece to unlock Kenny Pickett's ceiling. But hold on, we're not just talking about picks. This is a strategic move with layers. The franchise's future, the coaching staff's identity, even the locker room culture could pivot around this deal. Pittsburgh's offensive line could become top in the league overnight, with Cross anchoring the left side and adding stability that's been sorely lacking. That's the kind of move that signals a franchise willing to go all in. The scheme fits perfectly, too. Pittsburgh has historically favored a power run scheme, but also relies heavily on quick passes, exactly where Cross's agility shines. His ability to handle elite edge rushers like Micah Parsons or Myles Garrett would be a game changer. Comparing him to players like Trent Williams or Ronnie Stanley, Cross is a blend of technical mastery and raw power. In an offensive system led by new coaching staff, he could dominate the interior and open lanes for Najee Harris, providing much-needed balance. Now, what's the worst-case scenario? If Pittsburgh overpays and Cross gets injured again, or if the Seahawks demand too high a price and the deal falls apart, the franchise risks stalling. But that's a gamble they're willing to take. The payoff could be a guardrail to a new era of Steelers football, with a dominant offensive line that fronts a contender. And let's not forget, in NFL history, few trades have reshaped divisions overnight. The Ravens, Bengals, even the Browns are watching closely. A move like this, it would send shockwaves through the AFC North. The Steelers would suddenly become a team feared in the trenches, a nightmare for defenses. The media, ESPN, the athletic NFL network, would burst into coverage, heralding a new blueprint for rebuilding excellence. So, considering everything, the film, the stats, the market, the scheme fit, I'm telling you this is not just a rumor. It's a calculated move. A strategic chess piece that could change the NFL's landscape in 2026. Now, what's the timeline? First, expect negotiations to heat up in the next 2-3 weeks. The Combine, NFL Draft, free agency, all those windows are ripe for action. Once the Steelers' new head coach is hired, the deal could accelerate. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something tangible by late February, right before the Combine kicks off. And here's the clincher. This move isn't just about filling a hole. It's about marking a new era, a franchise that's willing to take bold steps, invest in youth and elite talent, and aim for the ultimate prize, restoring the Steel Curtain's dominance. So keep your eyes peeled. Watch every update, every leak, every whisper from league insiders. Because what you're witnessing right now isn't just a trade rumor. It's the beginning of a revolution, and those who see it early will claim their place in NFL history. This is the kind of story that leaves a mark. And believe me, the best part. It's only just beginning.